Okay, Melissa, we're back. Welcome to 2024. It's you and me, baby.
Just you and me this time.
It is. It's very exciting. So we're going to do a quick catch up. We're going to have a quick discussion about our last episode, the seasonal work that Donna Jarvis was talking about. That has gotten quite a lot of love, and it's obviously a topic that's hit home. We're going to talk about bingo cards instead of goals for 2024. And this is gamifying the goal setting, something I can get behind.
This is the perfect time for that for me because I've spent the last week or so away from my computer, away from my daily work, and just time to think about, oh, I should do this for 2024. I should do this, ideas all over the place and no plan.
I love the ideas, but I love making something a game because I am much more apt to play it.
All right.
It seems less serious, but first, welcome to Mixing Up Midlife, the weekly podcast for women in their 50s and beyond who want to explore this incredible age by being more adventurous and more curious. I'm Terry.
And I'm Alyssa. And yay, this week's episode is our first one for 2024. Well, first live one.
First live one, right. And you have some huge news.
I have a new baby.
Yes.
A new golden baby.
Red hair.
Yes, she's a ginger.
Yeah, you have a new golden puppy.
Yeah, and you know what? Until we touched ground in Virginia, I was not convinced this was all going to happen.
Explain what you went through. You found this breeder this summer in Colorado.
Actually, it was last summer.
Last summer, that's right.
Yeah. So it's been ongoing for quite a while. We have been looking for another dog for a long time. We wanted a dog that could keep up with us in all our activities, but out west, we realized most people had really hyper dogs. The ones that keep up with you are, Australian Shepherds, and I'm sure there's some out there that have a good off switch. But from what everyone told us is you are going to be on the run 24/7.
With an Australian Shepherd?
Mm-hmm.
1,000%. Ducky's best bud in the neighborhood is an Australian Shepherd. She is not yet 2 years old. They ride a bike every day.
Just to exercise her out.
They take her to the park sometimes. They throw Frisbee for her constantly. So, yes.
Yeah.
And then Ducky gets to play with her. But she is the best trained dog.
Yeah, we wanted a smart dog. We wanted a dog that would travel with us and do all our activities with us, but at the same time could also hang out with us when we are able to just hang out. And
Like
we know
chill.
Golden so well that we said we'd love our dog if she was only a little bit smaller. So when we ran into this family that happened to be a breeder of this dog that was probably a good 10 pounds smaller than our Golden.
Oh, wow.
We said, luck may be on our side if she's the mother that this dog might run small. The jury's still out on that. Really don't know. She said of the girls, she was the smallest boned.
Small bone girl.
Small boned. Just like her mom.
Yes, exactly. Teeny tiny little bird bones.
But yeah, so it worked out to this year to the right time because we are going to be around for a while to do the training and put the time into it. The only thing was that the puppy was ready to go 2 days before Christmas. And we were not willing to travel to Colorado and back at Christmas.
That's really
rush
smart.
to pick her up.
I can't even imagine that.
And if we were going to Colorado, according to my husband, we cannot go there without having some type of adventure as well. So,
I think that's reasonable, though.
Yeah, it was. So it was fun. We left in early January. We were there 6 days total. We spent one night. We visited friends. Shout out to our weather reporter, Martha, our mutual friend. So it was so great to see her and her husband go out to dinner. And then we drove to Colorado Springs, which we had never been to, and had a really wonderful Airbnb. If anyone wants an Airbnb in Colorado Springs, we will tell you about this host. It was wonderful. Amazing view of the mountain. Although we did not climb, which is Pikes Peak there.
Oh, nice.
So we were going to drive it, which is still, you pay money and you go up or something. I don't know, like a long drive, but it was probably like negatives degrees at the top and you could see the weather, we're like, no, we're not going to do that. So we visited Garden of the Gods. Have you heard of that park?
I have heard of it. Yes, just because of my niece, but
Oh,
yes.
it's an amazing park. And what I didn't realize, it's not a national park. It's not a national monument. It's not a state park. It was basically bequeathed by a private family.
Really?
To become a free park. Lots of trails. You can stay on the main trails where you see all the tourists, but you can go off. We were hiking around in the snow because it snowed the day we were there. And the next day was blue, sunny, on the red rocks, seeing the snow.
Colorado has some insane weather. And it's like really hot one day, really cold and snowy the next day. I just love the weather out there and the beauty of Colorado.
It was so beautiful.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you had that. So you picked your baby up.
Yes. At the very end, the day before we came home, we met the breeder out in Greeley, Colorado on a very windy, cold day. Basically felt like I was doing something illegal because we just met at a park and made the exchange.
That's weird.
I know it was odd, but she drove another hour from.
Oh my gosh,
she's way out there.
Okay,
so it was kind of odd to just walk away with this little puppy, but I held her all the way back to Denver. We spent the night at a hotel right at the airport that night, and I was so stressed about that. I was stressed about that. I was also stressed because this dog was ready to go on the 23rd. She's a good 12 weeks. Mm-hmm. So she's getting bigger and bigger every day.
Did she fit under the...
Yeah, but I did not have confidence in that. She traveled to see us, the breeder, and she was in her crate the whole time, and she did fine. And it just looks so funny because she just kind of lies down in it, and she sat under the seat, and our plane was a little delayed. It was a good 3 hour.
Was not great.
No, we landed in some high winds and rain, and it was bumpy, and she did absolutely fine. She is the most chill little puppy.
You always get the best dogs. Oh my God.
Well, this is day 2, so
all right. But so what was the question I asked you this morning? Is she
house trained? Yes, she is house broken.
And I was
of course
I
she
hate
is.
You.
Yeah, we got spoiled because she lived with some older Goldens in the breeders. Even when the other puppies were gone, she still had good influence and was part of a routine. So, she still has to get used to our house, and we have to follow her signals for when she needs to go out at our house. But she knows what to do.
Gives you signals. Like mine's stealth still. She's actually been much better now that my daughter's dog has been with us for a month, and she's really learned, and it's been great. So you always learn, I guess, from your elders as a baby, or whatever.
It's a lesson for all of us, isn't it?
I'm so excited for you, and she is the cutest stinking thing. So I'm going to put some of her pictures, if it's okay with you.
Yeah.
I'll put those up on Instagram. My hair is like crazy today. But yeah, look on our stories for Melissa's baby, and her name is Annie, and she's so, so cute. And congratulations.
Thank you.
I just want to talk really quickly about empty nesters, puppies. Do you think, and somebody asked me this, are you trying to fill your empty nest or fill the void that the kids left? And I was like, no, it wasn't that at all.
I wouldn't say that. No.
Okay. I was like, I just cannot imagine my life without a dog. I've always had a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've usually
we kind of feel like
2 dogs.
Yeah, we're
once.
like back to the big circle of life because before we had kids, we had a golden retriever.
Right. And then this is your 5th
or
4th.
Mm-hmm. 4th.
But you usually multiply. We
overlap.
Multiples.
The last time we overlapped as well. And we're overlapping around the same time period. So it's good.
And I think it's nice. I could never get my husband to do that. Like I could never get him to have a 3rd kid.
Yeah. Unlike what multiple people told me, we'll all have 3 kids together. And they all stopped at 2.
I would have jumped on that if I could have. Not that you and I ever lived in the same area, but that is something I always wanted. And he was like, I can't handle it. And you have to listen.
Right.
When somebody is like, I cannot handle that.
No, yeah, you don't do it if somebody's saying that. But What I thought is kind of interesting and kind of the same question that you have is empty nesting, getting a puppy a little bit crazy because we've talked to people and they're saying, after ours goes, we're going to be free.
Yeah. That's what a lot of my friends have said. They're like, no, we're definitely not getting a dog because we want to be able to travel and we want to be able to do whatever we want to do. Well, we happen to be in a place in our lives where our son doesn't live very far away and our daughter is absolutely happy to either take the dog or take care of the dog at our house. So, we're going to take advantage of that while we can. For you, I know it's going to be a little bit harder because
it's a little bit more difficult, but at the same time for us, one of our goals is to get that truck camper and drive. And part of that was because we want to travel with our dogs.
And I think that is so special. That's definitely one of our goals as well, not a truck camper, but to travel.
Yeah. And we even did that when we stopped at the showroom of, it's called Tune is the company. It's a pretty new company out of Denver. They make these caps for pickup trucks where it becomes a pop-up camper. It was really cool. And we will probably be purchasing one of those once we purchase our truck. Which is still
So you like that better than you like the other one that was Philly-based, I think, right?
Yeah, we'll see. It's between those two, but we like this company. The people were really cool. There's a few reasons that we could go for it. It kind of flares out a little bit on the side, so you have a little bit more room.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so, we'll see, but I'm very excited. But it was another thing to do in Colorado.
It's fun that you're doing all of these things. Melissa, this came up on, I don't even think it was on my TikTok, although I think the original idea did develop off of TikTok, and it is creating goals with bingo cards. And the gamifying.
Tell me about this.
Basically, instead of saying, I have these goals, you know how everybody makes their New Year's resolutions and it's like, I'm going to lose 20 pounds or I'm going to work out 5 times a week or I'm going to gain X amount of followers on Instagram, whatever it is, whatever. But instead of just saying these goals and writing them down or doing a vision board, you do a bingo card and there's a prize when you get bingo. And I think that's
we do our own prize.
Yeah. I mean, like maybe it's something really kind of big, but maybe if you and I create a bingo card for the show, I thought that could be really fun as well.
Ah, that could be fun.
So I would like to stop and ask our listeners if you were to put something on our bingo card, what would it be? I would love to hear it. I think you and I will talk offline about this, but this is definitely something I think I'd like to do for the show. I'd like to do it in my personal life with my husband as here are our adventures or here are the things
I
that
could
we
see
want to
that
do.
very easily.
I think it could be fun. What would you put on our bingo card?
Our bingo card. This is all stuff. I don't think it's really fun, though. I'm thinking like consistently send out a newsletter to let people know all the wonderful things that we talk about because I think we are missing out a lot because people might miss something.
Okay, so instead of saying consistently, maybe you put a number on it. Send out 3 emails in 4 months. These are doable things. I just think something that isn't so endless. It has a quantitative
I love checking boxes. I know that.
Yeah. I think it could be fun. We'll talk offline.
Okay.
I think one that I'd like to do with my husband is I really have this thing in my head. I want to go to Quebec. I want to go to Quebec City.
So do we.
I want to go in the winter, either for the Christmas markets.
What is it with Christmas markets this year? I've never heard so much about it than I
know
have this
we
year.
talked about this, but I love Christmas markets.
Yeah.
Or for Carnival, because apparently that's like a really big thing as well, doing Carnival up there, Mardi Gras, whatever. I think that would be cool. I don't mind going in the winter. I am very weirdly attached to cold right now. This has never been in my entire life.
You had a little snow, didn't you?
We had a little bit of snow. It wasn't great, but we should really save the weather report for the end of the podcast.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't even think there was.
Yeah,
it's weird being in. coming back from Colorado, and today, well, look, the weather was horrible here yesterday,
gross.
but today it's like mid-50s.
Yeah.
I'm like, it doesn't feel like it should be that way.
No,
right now.
It never does. Well, that's my thought. And I really want us to work on that and develop a little bit more. And I think it could be a fun thing for our audience to do.
So we don't have to hit all our goals then. You're just saying we just have to hit bingo.
Yeah.
Right?
So maybe have some crazy big goals, littler, more achievable goals. I don't know. We'll have to think it out. I think it'd be cool.
Okay. I will think about it.
All right. So next up is...
Well, since I've been gone, I have not been able to do much of a weekend watch. We did watch that Bodies show that
what'd you think of that?
I thought it was unnecessarily confusing for a while.
It did take until like the last 3 episodes to understand what the heck was going on.
And I don't feel like the confusingness advanced
like
the plot. I think they were just trying to be really mysterious and confusing.
Yes, maybe.
And okay, can I ask another question without being really random? Why did he even have to go back again?
Oh, I have no idea. Like again.
The whole point of it didn't really make sense. If this is how past, present, future is always going to happen, then why was it so important at the end he has to go back and do it all over again because it's all going to be the same? I don't know. It didn't make sense to me.
So it was something to watch.
It was something to watch.
And honestly, the things to watch are so not happening.
It's very limited right now.
It is really limited.
And one thing I missed because I wasn't at home was the big wedding, the golden
Golden Bachelor wedding.
So you'll have to give me your input on this, seeing as I missed it.
Well, who would we be if we did not somehow talk about the Golden Bachelor? And I think I could really be done with Golden Bachelor.
I think this will really put the, cherry on the sundae, whatever you say, and it's done. We did predict that Susan would be the, what do you call it?
The officiant.
The officiant of the wedding. And I heard
Susan
she did a great job. And I heard she's probably going to get a lot of business based on this.
Susan should be marrying everybody.
Really?
She was amazing. Yes. So super, super short recap, because if you didn't watch it, you're not gonna, and you don't want to.
Right.
Right. So I don't want to beat a dead horse to death, but it was, in my opinion, it was very sweet. They seem like they're super in love.
Good.
The families all seemed great together. Everybody seemed happy. It was very well done. I'll say that. Susan, again, was the star. They had Kathy doing a lot of the hosting.
And I heard a little love-hate on that. Like, some people thought she was great and some people she really
I didn't think
bothered.
she was that great. I mean, I thought she was good. I think she moved around too much, like her head, and she was a little distracting.
That's how she kind of is.
But that's also experience.
Yeah, when you think about these women, this is their
regular
first
people.
Exactly. And I've heard other people talk about how they should all have a talk show now. They're that good.
I think that Susan, April, Kathy, Nancy's included in that, although I haven't seen her personality. And I'll say Natasha, because Natasha is always so funny.
I saw quotes of Natasha, something about leave your kids alone and go do something.
Yeah, that was her big moment. She had the chair moment, and she said, leave the kids alone. They're fine. Go live your life. And good for her. So,
perfect for our podcast.
Exactly. I think we will see more. And I don't know why. Maybe on their Instagram, they said they're all going to be meeting up someplace together. I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be some special filmed surrounding this core group of women.
I think the Bachelor Nation, as they call it, they, quote, struck gold with these women, and they're going to try to milk it for all they can.
I know there's going to be a Golden Bachelorette. Not interested. Really,
yeah, we talked about that.
I'm just not interested. I'll change my mind, but
I might hate watch it.
Exactly. Aside from that, I have not really been watching anything. We've been struggling to find something that we can both watch. My husband loves murder, loves detective. It's really hard to find a middle ground.
Have you gotten into any of those PBS shows?
No, because we haven't
gotten the PBS app.
Not yet. And we're going to be leaving cable finally. After how many years of saying, let's leave cable? It's something like $300 a month. That is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. But you also miss the golden days of streaming, too, because all the streaming is now twice as expensive as it was 2 years ago. But you don't have to get everything.
But I'm not going to be... That's it. I would probably do away with Apple TV off season.
Although I've heard some good things coming for Apple TV. They're saying Apple TV is going to become more of the old HBO.
So, right now, there's like nothing. The one thing I have been doing, Melissa, is I've been reading. Yeah.
I read too. I read a whole book on my trip for Bible Club.
What did you read?
It was called Hamnet. Have you heard of that?
Mm-mm.
It was good, except it was based around the plague back in those days.
Okay.
Which is
too close to
depressing. The author seemed to get inspired by thinking of Shakespeare, who wrote Hamlet. And Hamnet was also often a name substituted for Hamlet. And imagining if Shakespeare had a son, and perhaps that son died of the plague.
Oh, interesting.
And he wrote Hamlet as like an ode to deal with his grief.
Interesting.
So stuff leading up to the death of the son. And it is interesting. It actually was much better than I would imagine when I read the description about it.
All right. Well, I did not get so very heady. I dipped my little toes into more fantasy, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
This was a big TikTok recommendation, apparently.
Okay.
Didn't realize it. But it's A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Sounds like Game of Thrones to me.
It's not. I mean, it wishes, but... It felt like it was very Beauty and the Beast-ish. Fairies, characters who were stuck with masks on and only true love could break it. So it was a little bit trite, right?
Yeah, trite.
Did that stop me from starting the second book? It did not. So,
okay, well, that's good. Whatever gets you reading. And you're physically reading?
Physically reading and listening, both back and forth, just because it's easier sometimes for me to listen, if I'm driving and I want to keep up with things. That works for me.
Good.
It's a narrator that I've listened to before and I like her voice. Other thing I did physically start reading is a book called Middlesex. Have you read?
Is that an old book?
I don't know if it's an old book or not. One of my coworkers gave it to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's about somebody who was assigned female at birth, but had undescended testicles and somehow the brain of a male, chemically male.
Right.
So I don't really, and I've only read 3 chapters.
That's not the book I was thinking of.
But it was really interesting. It grabbed me right away.
Cool.
And I started reading. I got through 3 chapters this morning.
Well, that's good. Is that part of your bingo card reading?
It is.
Maybe one of our bingo cards could be another book club discussion.
That would be really fun. You know what I think we have to do is a bingo spot for a wine tasting.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And you did not get the Christmas
I didn't.
gift that you were thinking you might.
I did not. I had really hoped I would get an Iola wine package from my beloved. I didn't get that. That's okay.
Your birthday's coming up.
It is. My birthday is coming up. It's the big 6-0. So, I can ask for that. Hopefully, we will have all of you join us for a wine tasting with Marilee Bramhall.
That would be so fun.
More information to follow, but this is something that Marilee said she would love to do with us and something we think would be really fun to do as well. It's going to take some arranging, but I think we can do it.
I think so. We will put that right on our bingo card and aim for that in the beginning.
Yes, and then immediately mark it off.
Yes. I'm so excited for all the things. We've talked about other potential guests recently. We've got a list of ideas that we had carrying over from last year.
Yeah.
Fun things coming for 2024.
I know. And I feel like part of what I'm so stoked about right now, and maybe the direction of where we're going with this, you and I talking, always fun. I love bringing our guests on, but I want us to focus on really different ways of exploring this age.
You said we got some good feedback on Donna.
Yeah. I have gotten so many DMs.
That's great.
On that episode. It's so many DMs. It's been amazing.
Are people asking questions how they can sign up? Or?
No, they're just saying, this is something I've never really thought about.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I could do this, but some really great food for thought, or what opportunities this opens up for women who want to do really interesting things. And again, I think about it in terms of partners or friends. This is a really interesting thing to do. I am so intrigued by it. My husband is like, nope, not interested. And he's like, you're more interested on paper than you would be in reality. And I said, yes.
Well, there is a commitment involved.
Wouldn't it be interesting to try it out? Sure, there's a commitment involved. Exactly. I was like, but wouldn't it be interesting to try?
Yeah.
And he was like, you think it would be.
Well, I have to see. Did she say like how long a gig usually lasted?
She did. I think she said the season is usually October to May. That's very long.
That is very long.
Yeah. And then I think the summer season is shorter. So.
But for some people, it could be just the thing.
Yeah. I actually looked on Coolworks. I don't know. Did I text you?
No, you didn't.
Link? Oh, I didn't. So funny. So I looked on Coolworks and I was like, what could you do? I was like, oh, Melissa, you could easily do this, because they had all sorts of
you did.
jobs.
I didn't know that's what it was. Okay.
Yes. They had all sorts of things for photographers where you would be photographing people doing things. And then I was like, oh, I bet your husband could be a fly fishing guide on the same trip.
Okay. Now you convinced me. I'm going to have to look it all up.
I just think I would like to go in that direction with ideas and guests and ways to do life differently. I just think it's so cool. There's so many ways to do life.
Right.
That
Let's just keep that really as the focus of our podcast. I mean, I know sometimes we're talking about skincare and fashion and that type of thing, but
also, it's not quite the same as being that adventurous soul, but you're still doing something different.
Still learning, doing things.
Exactly.
Did I tell you I wanted to do more painting artwork this year?
No. Is that on your personal bingo card?
I haven't made my personal bingo card, but I think I might. I think I got caught up on either TikToks or YouTube videos of people making little holiday cards this year, and they make it look so easy. I know it's not, but like, oh, you just do a little of this, a little of that, and oh, it's a cute snowman in a field. Like, oh. So if I can follow a tutorial, maybe.
I went to one of those paint and sips.
Oh, yeah.
I was a disaster.
But was it fun?
No.
I actually have my paint and sip picture hanging in my kitchen right now.
Wow, it must be good.
It's not that good, but
Mine's
it's bright and colorful, and we needed something, a pop of color there.
It was more frustrating than fun.
Really?
Yeah.
I had so much fun.
It was a work thing.
Uh-huh.
So there was a little bit of awkwardness, I think, there as well.
Okay, but I loved, even because it was probably like acrylics or something, right?
Yes.
That's what ours was. I just love mixing the colors and seeing what came out.
I would love to see your work. I think that's amazing.
Yes.
I have decided this is my big project for 2024 art project. If I really have a desire to thrift sweaters and textiles that have holes in them, whatever, and make fabric from it so that I can make Christmas stockings for my daughter's future in-laws because they came to our house and we really didn't have good stockings for them. And she's really into sustainability. I thought, well, this could be really fun.
That would be cool.
Right?
So you're going to do
I've
a little
made
sewing project.
Yeah, I've made stockings before.
Mm-hmm. So
One
would it look
year.
like patchwork kind of thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wouldn't it be cool?
Yeah. That's another thing I've watched on video is these people thrifting clothes and then making something else out of them.
I
It's
like that.
really fun to watch.
Yeah, that will go on my bingo card.
All right, let's do our personal bingo cards as well. Maybe we can even share it if we're not too
Shy
about it.
There's
Yes.
going to be some things on that bingo card I'm not sharing.
Yeah. I'll have to think about it.
My husband will be thrilled. No.
Maybe we save that for a separate bingo card.
There you go. That's the couples bingo card.
Oh, God.
All right.
My husband
All right.
will have the same thing on every square.
Okay.
On that
So,
note,
Melissa, on that note, I think that's it, right?
I think
Just
we're
very
good.
quick. I'm so happy about the puppy.
And I am trying to I did not bring my good camera with me. I brought only my iPhone, but I tried to document a little bit from every day on this trip and picking her up. So if I can put it together and something might come out of it, I will surely share it.
Perfect. Make sure you tag the show. That would be at Mixing Up Midlife on Instagram. You can follow us there. You can follow us on TikTok. Also, Mixing Up Midlife. Leave us a voicemail if you have any great ideas for either a bingo card or a topic for a new episode. Let us know. That's on our website, mixingupmidlife.com. And join us in our Facebook group, Mixing Up Midlife. We'd love to hear from you. And the day this is being released is Melissa's birthday. Happy birthday, bestie. I love you.
Thank you. 59 big ones, man.
59. You're one step closer to the big 6-0. Happy birthday, Melissa.
Thank you.
Everybody go and give Melissa some love on her Instagram. Mmelet Photo. That is it. We will see you next week where we have Mary Jo Cranmore coming, and she has quite the YouTube channel. She does tarot and astrology, and we had a great conversation with her. So that's up next week. Can't wait to share that.
All right. Well, have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.
A new recording,
Go
a
right
new
into
hour
it.
of the day, a good afternoon, if you will.